dropped $5,000 on my daughter's birthday party, but when I showed up, my daughter was sobbing in a corner and my sister was the honored guest. Appreciate the party, she said with a laugh, so I placed a call and just 15 minutes later, chaos erupted. I never thought my own sister could steal my daughter's dream right out from under her. But then came the day my little girl's birthday became a battleground, and I had to choose between family and fighting for what was right. My entire world shifted, and I couldn't stop what was coming next. I'm still shaking from it all, honestly. My family has their opinions, but you need to hear the whole story to understand. My daughter, Lily, just turned 7. She's my whole universe, the reason I pushed through exhausting double shifts as a surgical nurse. Her father walked out when she was 2, leaving me with a mortgage, student loans, and a little girl who heartbreakingly asked why Daddy didn't love us anymore. Those years were brutal. I learned to braid hair from YouTube videos at midnight. I became a master at stretching a grocery budget, making mac and cheese taste gourmet with just a few spices. But Lily never went without the important things, and I made sure she knew she was loved every single day. This year, I wanted to do something truly special. Lily had been talking about her birthday since January, drawing pictures of her dream party, a princess theme with a real castle backdrop, a petting zoo, face painting, balloon animals, and a chocolate fountain. She'd cut out pictures from magazines, creating a whole scrapbook she kept under her pillow. Most 7-year-olds forget their grand plans, but not Lily. I'd been saving for 8 months. Every extra shift, every overtime opportunity, every penny I could scrape together went into a separate account I called Lily's Magic Day. I skipped new work shoes, even though mine had a hole. I brought leftovers for lunch, canceled streaming subscriptions, and cut my own hair. By September, I had $5,000. It was enough to make her dreams come true. Planning the party became my second job. I researched vendors for weeks, reading hundreds of reviews. I found a woman named Eleanor who specialized in children's parties. Her portfolio was stunning. She was expensive but came highly recommended. We met 3 times, going over every detail. I showed her Lily's scrapbook, and Eleanor actually teared up. She promised me she'd create something Lily would remember forever. The party was scheduled for Saturday, October 28th, at Central Lake Park's main pavilion from 2 to 6 p.m. I invited Lily's entire second-grade class, 23 kids plus their parents, along with family, my mother, my sister Chloe, my aunt Brenda, and my cousin David with his wife. Eleanor designed beautiful custom invitations with Lily's name in gold script across a castle silhouette. Here's where I need to explain Chloe. She's 4 years older than me, and growing up, everything was always about her. She was the pretty one, the popular one, the one who could do no wrong in our mother's eyes. I was the responsible one, the boring one, the one who studied too much. When I got pregnant with Lily, Chloe made comments about how I'd ruined my life. When Lily's father left, she said she wasn't surprised because who wants to be tied down with a kid and a woman who's always working? But Chloe couldn't keep a relationship or a job to save her life. She'd been engaged 4 times and never made it to the altar. She hopped from one career to another, always quitting because her boss was toxic or her coworkers were jealous. She lived with our mother rent-free and borrowed money constantly, money that was never paid back. Despite all this, Mom treated her like a princess who just needed time to find herself. I tried to have a good relationship with Chloe, I really did. But she always made everything about her. When I graduated nursing school, she announced her engagement at my graduation dinner. When I bought my house, she started a fight at the housewarming party because I hadn't asked her to be my roommate. Every achievement I had was either minimized or overshadowed by some drama she created. Still, she was my sister. I wanted Lily to have a relationship with her aunt, so I invited Chloe to the party and even asked her to come early to help set up. She seemed genuinely excited, texting me daily with ideas and offering to pick up the cake since the bakery was near her salon. The morning of the party, I was a bundle of nervous energy. I'd taken the day off, a rare occurrence. Lily had barely slept, too excited. She tried on her princess dress 4 times before breakfast. I'd ordered it custom-made from a seamstress Eleanor recommended, a blue ball gown with layers of tulle and hand-sewn sparkles. Lily looked like she'd stepped out of a fairy tale. Eleanor texted me at 9 a.m. saying everything was on schedule. Vendors would arrive at the pavilion at 11 o'clock to set up. She sent photos of the castle backdrop being loaded. It was even more beautiful than in the mock-ups, with 8-foot towers and a drawbridge entrance. I showed Lily, and she literally screamed with joy. My plan was to arrive at the pavilion at 1:30, giving Eleanor and her team time to finish. I wanted to see Lily's face when she walked in and saw everything perfect. I arranged for my neighbor, Mrs. Davies, to drive us. Mrs. Davies had become like a grandmother to Lily and was just as excited. But around noon, I started getting weird texts. First, from my cousin David, "Hey, is the party starting earlier? We just passed Central Lake Park and saw a ton of cars." Then from Lily's friend Ashley's mom, "We're here, but the pavilion looks full already. Should we wait in the parking lot?" My stomach dropped. I called Eleanor immediately. It rang 4 times before she answered, and I could hear music and voices in the background. "Eleanor, what's going on? Why are people already there?" There was a pause. "Oh, Sarah, I'm so glad you called. There's been a situation. You should get here as soon as possible." The way she said it made my blood run cold. I told Lily we were leaving early, grabbed my purse, and rushed next door to get Mrs. Davies. The drive to Central Lake Park usually took 15 minutes, but Mrs. Davies made it in 9. I could see the pavilion from the parking lot, and my heart sank. Balloons were everywhere. Purple and silver balloons. Not the pink and gold I'd ordered. Not the princess theme. Purple and silver. I got out of the car before Mrs. Davies had fully stopped. Lily was confused, asking why the colors were wrong. I told her to wait with Mrs. Davies, that I needed to check something. My hands were shaking as I walked toward the pavilion. The closer I got, the more wrong everything looked. The castle backdrop was there, but someone had draped purple fabric over parts of it. The tables were set with purple tablecloths and silver centerpieces. The banner across the entrance didn't say, "Happy birthday, Lily." It said, "Happy 30th, Chloe." I stopped in my tracks, unable to process what I was seeing. Guests were already there, mostly people I didn't recognize. They were Chloe's friends, dressed for an adult party, holding cocktails. A DJ was playing club music. The petting zoo was still there but pushed off to the side, neglected. The chocolate fountain I'd ordered was running, but surrounded by adults dipping strawberries and marshmallows. Then I saw her. Chloe, wearing a tight purple dress and a tiara, holding court in the center of the pavilion. She was laughing, a champagne flute in her hand, surrounded by friends who were singing happy birthday to her. My mother stood next to her, beaming with pride, taking photos with her phone. I felt like I'd been punched in the chest. The air left my lungs. This couldn't be happening. This couldn't be real. I walked closer, weaving through the crowd. Nobody seemed to notice me. I reached the main table where a huge 3-tier cake sat, a cake that was supposed to be Lily's castle cake. Except someone had added purple frosting details and changed the topper from a princess figure to a 30-candle arrangement. Chloe saw me then. Our eyes met across the pavilion, and instead of looking embarrassed or apologetic, she smiled. She actually smiled and walked over to me with her arms spread wide. "Sarah, you made it. I wasn't sure you'd get here in time." She hugged me like nothing was wrong, and I stood there, frozen. "Thanks for the party, sis. You really outdid yourself this time." She said it loud enough for people nearby to hear, and some of them laughed. I finally found my voice. "What did you do?" "This is Lily's party. Her birthday party." Chloe's smile didn't falter. "Oh, come on. Lily is 7. She won't even remember this party in a few years. But 30 is a milestone. I told Mom how sad I was that I didn't have money for a proper celebration, and she mentioned you'd planned this whole thing. We figured Lily wouldn't mind sharing. There's still some princess stuff here. See? She gestured vaguely toward the neglected petting zoo. You figured Lily wouldn't mind? Did you even ask her? Where is she? Chloe shrugged. I think she's around here somewhere. Don't be so dramatic, Sarah. This works out for everyone. Lily still gets a party, just with more people and better music. I looked past her, desperately scanning the pavilion for my daughter. Finally, I spotted her. Lily was sitting on a bench near the back corner, still in her beautiful princess dress, hunched over with her face in her hands. She was crying. Her shoulders shook with sobs. Mrs. Davies sat next to her, arm around her, looking helpless and furious. Something inside me shattered and then immediately hardened into steel. I walked past Chloe without another word, pushing through the crowd until I reached Lily. When I knelt in front of her, she looked up at me with red, swollen eyes. Mommy, why did Chloe take my party? You said this was my special day. I pulled her into my arms, holding her tight while she cried into my shoulder. Mrs. Davies filled me in with a tight, angry voice. Lily had arrived excited and confused by the purple decorations. Chloe had told her that big girls share their parties and that Lily should go play quietly while the adults celebrated. When Lily's classmates started arriving, Chloe's friends had been rude to them, telling them the party wasn't appropriate for children. Several families had already gone. I could feel rage building in my chest, white-hot and consuming. I'd worked myself to exhaustion for 8 months. I'd sacrificed everything to give Lily one perfect day, and Chloe had stolen it, twisted it into something for herself, and laughed about it. I stood up, still holding Lily's hand. My mind raced through options. I could make a scene, but Chloe would just play the victim. I could call the police, but what would I say? My sister hijacked my daughter's party? They'd tell me it was a family matter. I could just leave, but the damage was done. Her friends were already gone or going. Her perfect day was ruined. Then I remembered something. Eleanor. Eleanor had contracts, agreements, receipts. More importantly, Eleanor had connections. She'd mentioned during our planning meetings that she had relationships with all the vendors in town, that she could make things happen quickly. I pulled out my phone and called her. She answered on the first ring. Sarah, I am so sorry. Your sister called me 3 days ago saying there was a change of plans, that you wanted to surprise her by combining the parties. She had your mother call too, confirming it. I should have verified with you directly, but, Eleanor, I interrupted, my voice surprisingly calm. Can you get the original vendors back here? The real decorations, the princess theme, everything we planned. I mean, theoretically, yes, but it would take time, too. How much time? A few hours at least. The castle backdrop is already there, so that's good. But the balloon arrangements, the proper linens, the cake topper, what about the pavilion next door? The smaller one? There was a pause. The North Grove Pavilion. Let me check. I heard typing. It's available. Nobody has it booked today. How fast can you set up Lily's real party there? Exactly as we planned it, just in the smaller space. More typing. The decorations are still in my truck because we only partially unpacked them before your sister's people took over. The cake is salvageable. I can remove the additions. I'd need to make some calls, but maybe 30 minutes, 45 at most. Do it. Whatever it costs, do it. And Eleanor, call the police non-emergency line. Tell them there's been an unauthorized takeover of a paid reservation at the main pavilion. I have the rental contract and receipts, right? You do. It's in your name, Paid in full. Perfect. Make those calls. I hung up and looked at Mrs. Davies. Can you take Lily to get some ice cream? Just for about 45 minutes. Keep her distracted. Mrs. Davies's eyes gleamed with understanding. Oh, absolutely. I watched them walk away, Lily still sniffling but curious about the sudden ice cream trip. Then I turned back toward the pavilion, pulling out my phone again. I had more calls to make. First, I called the park's main office. I explained the situation, that I had rented and paid for the pavilion, that I had documentation, and that someone had stolen my reservation. The woman on the phone was sympathetic but explained park security would need to see the paperwork. I told her I'd be at the office in 5 minutes. Next, I texted every parent from Lily's class who'd already left, please come back in 1 hour. Real party happening at North Grove Pavilion. So sorry for confusion. I texted the families who hadn't left yet the same message. Then I called my best friend, Maria, who was an attorney. She didn't practice family law, but she knew enough. I gave her the quick version. Jesus, Sarah, that's beyond messed up. Okay, listen. Document everything. Take photos and videos. Get witness statements if you can. Do you have the contracts in my car? Good. Your sister has basically committed theft of services and possibly fraud if she misrepresented herself to the vendors. The park can absolutely kick her out if you have proof of your reservation. Don't engage with her directly, though. Let authorities handle it. I thanked her and jogged to the park office. The woman I'd spoken to, whose name tag read Denise, reviewed my paperwork, the rental agreement, the receipt showing payment in full, the timestamp showing I booked it 3 months ago. Her expression darkened. This is actually illegal, Denise said. Someone can't just take over a paid reservation. I'm calling campus security right now. Thank you. Also, there's underage drinking happening. I saw minors with alcohol. That got her attention. Are you certain? Some of the guests looked barely 18, and there's no ID checking at the drinks table. Denise's jaw tightened. She picked up her radio and made a call that would have made me smile under different circumstances. She was not messing around. I left the office and headed back to the pavilion, staying at the edges. Eleanor spotted me and waved me over to where her truck was parked. We're setting up the North Grove Pavilion right now, she said quickly. I've got my whole team moving. The balloon artist is on his way back. He'd left, but turned around. Same with the face painter. The petting zoo handlers are moving the animals over now. I fixed the cake. It looks perfect. We'll be ready in 30 minutes. You're amazing, Eleanor. Your sister is a piece of work. I'm so sorry I let this happen. I could see park security arriving. 2 officers in uniform heading toward the main pavilion. I followed at a distance, phone out, recording. The officers approached Chloe, who was now visibly drunk and dancing with her friends. I couldn't hear the initial conversation, but I saw Chloe's expression change from confusion to indignation. She pointed at me when she spotted me. Her voice carried across the pavilion. That's my sister. This is a family party. Tell her to stop being such a jealous, one of the officers held up a hand. Ma'am, we need to see a rental agreement for this pavilion. I don't need one. My sister rented it. Then your sister needs to be present and confirm you have permission to be here. Chloe's eyes found mine. Sarah, tell them. I walked closer, phone still recording. Officers, I'm Sarah Reeves. I rented this pavilion for my daughter's 7th birthday party. I have the contract and receipt. I did not give anyone permission to change or take over the event. Chloe's face went red. Are you kidding me right now? You're really going to do this? Over a kid's party? Over my daughter's birthday? The one I spent 8 months saving for? The one you stole? My mother finally noticed the commotion and rushed over. Sarah, what are you doing? Don't ruin your sister's special day. Her special day? My voice rose despite my efforts to stay calm. Mom, I spent $5,000 on Lily's birthday party. I showed you the plans. You knew this was for her. Well, yes, but Chloe needed something nice and Lily is your granddaughter. Your only granddaughter who is sitting in the parking lot crying because her aunt hijacked her birthday party. The second officer spoke up. Ma'am, we're going to need everyone to leave this pavilion. The rightful renter has asked that the space be cleared. Chaos broke out. Chloe started screaming that I was ruining her life, that I'd always been jealous of her, that I couldn't stand to see her happy. Her friends joined in, yelling about how unfair this was. My mother pleaded with me to be reasonable and think about family. But the officers weren't budging. They gave everyone 15 minutes to clear out. Chloe's friends started grumbling and leaving, annoyed that their party was ending. The DJ started packing up his equipment. The elaborate adult centerpieces were collected. The purple and silver balloons started coming down. Denise from the park office had also arrived. She informed Chloe that the alcohol service was unauthorized. The park required special permits for that, which I hadn't applied for because it was supposed to be a children's party. She issued citations to Chloe and to whoever had brought the alcohol. My mother tried one more time. Sarah, please. Can't you just share the space? Chloe went to so much trouble. Mom, she stole my daughter's birthday party. She took money I worked myself into exhaustion to earn and used it for herself. And you helped her. I was just trying to do something nice for your sister. She's been so depressed about turning 30. And what about Lily? What about your granddaughter who hasn't stopped crying? My mother had no answer for that. She just shook her head and went to help Chloe gather her things. Eleanor appeared at my elbow. North Grove Pavilion is ready. It looks magical. I checked my phone. Messages were flooding in from parents saying they were on their way back. I texted Mrs. Davies to bring Lily. As Chloe's party cleared out of the main pavilion, I directed arriving families to the North Grove Pavilion. The look on their faces when they saw it made everything worth it. Eleanor and her team had created a fairy tale. The castle backdrop looked even better in the smaller, more intimate space. The pink and gold balloons created a canopy effect. The tables were perfect with their princess-themed settings. The petting zoo was set up right at the entrance, so it was the first thing kids saw. The chocolate fountain was in prime position. The face painter and balloon artists were ready and smiling. And in the center of it all was Lily's cake, a magnificent 3-tier castle with pink frosting, edible glitter, and princess figures dancing around the tiers. The topper read, "Happy 7th birthday, Lily," in gold script. Mrs. Davies brought Lily back right as the first group of her classmates arrived. Lily's tear-stained face transformed when she saw the pavilion. She looked up at me with wide, wondering eyes. "Mommy, is this really for me?" "Every single bit of it, baby. This is your special day. Exactly like you dreamed it." Lily threw her arms around me, squeezing tight. Then she ran into the pavilion, squealing with delight as her friends surrounded her. I watched her pet the miniature horses, get her face painted as a butterfly princess, and dance with her friends. Her laughter erased the memory of her tears. The party was everything I'd planned. Lily was the center of attention, glowing in her princess dress. The kids played games, made balloon animals, ate pizza and cake, and sang happy birthday so loud, I'm sure they heard it across the whole park. Parents told me it was the best children's party they'd ever attended. Ashley's mom hugged me and whispered, "I heard what happened. I'm so sorry, but you handled it like a boss." Eleanor refused to charge me for the last-minute venue change or the extra setup work. Your sister is lucky I'm a professional and won't badmouth her online, she said. But I will absolutely never work with her. And every vendor here feels the same way. As the party wound down around 5:30, I helped Lily open presents. She was exhausted, but radiantly happy, surrounded by gifts and cards. She kept telling me it was the best birthday ever, even better than her scrapbook. I was packing up gifts when Chloe appeared. She looked rough, makeup smeared, hair disheveled. The tiara gone. My mother stood behind her, arms crossed. I hope you're happy, Chloe spat. You humiliated me in front of everyone. I straightened up slowly. You humiliated yourself. You stole a 7-year-old's birthday party. I didn't steal anything. I just wanted to share. You didn't want to share. You wanted to take, like you always do. You wanted something I worked for, something I earned, and you just decided you deserved it more. That's not, Mom, tell her that's not true. My mother stepped forward. Sarah, you could have been more flexible. Family is supposed to help each other. Something in me finally snapped. Help each other? Mom, when have you ever helped me? When Lily's father left? No, you told me I should have tried harder to keep him. When I was working 3 jobs to get through nursing school with a toddler? No, you were too busy lending Chloe money she never paid back. When I was exhausted and overwhelmed and drowning? No, because Chloe needed emotional support from her latest breakup that she caused. My mother's face paled. That's not fair. What's not fair is that I have spent my entire adult life fighting for scraps of your attention while Chloe gets everything handed to her. What's not fair is that you knew about this party for months, saw how excited Lily was, and you still helped Chloe steal it. What's not fair is that your granddaughter was sitting in a corner crying at her own birthday party and neither of you cared. Chloe's face was red. You've always been jealous of me. Always. You can't stand that people like me more. People don't like you, Chloe. They enable you. There's a difference. People like you when you're fun and exciting and drinking. But where are those friends when you need real help? Where are the people from your engagement parties and your job celebrations? They're gone because you burn every bridge and then blame everyone else. I'm done. The words came out calm, final. I'm done with both of you. I'm done being the responsible one who gets nothing. I'm done explaining why I deserve basic respect. I'm done watching you prioritize Chloe's wants over Lily's needs. You want a relationship with Chloe? Great. But you don't get access to Lily and me anymore. My mother's eyes widened. You can't mean that. I absolutely do. Today, you showed me exactly where your priorities are. Lily deserves better than grandparents who see her as less important than their favorite child's whims. She deserves people who protect her, not people who hurt her. Sarah, please. But I was done talking. I turned away from them and went back to Lily, who was showing Mrs. Davies her favorite presents. We finished packing up, thanked Eleanor and her team profusely, and headed home. That night, after Lily was asleep, clutching a new stuffed unicorn, still wearing her princess dress, I sat on my couch and finally let myself cry. Not sad tears. Angry, relieved, exhausted tears. I cried for the little girl I'd been who never felt good enough. I cried for the years I'd spent trying to earn love that should have been freely given. I cried for Lily, who'd learned too young that family could be cruel. But I also felt something else, freedom. For the first time in my life, I'd stood up for myself and my daughter without apologizing. I'd drawn a boundary and enforced it. I'd shown Lily that her mother would move mountains to protect her happiness. The fallout has been intense. My phone exploded with messages from family members, most of them telling me I'd overreacted. My Aunt Brenda called me vindictive. My cousin David said I caused unnecessary drama. Only my Uncle Mark, who'd always been on the periphery of family stuff, sent me a message about, damn time someone stood up to that nonsense. Lily is lucky to have you. Chloe has been posting on social media about toxic family members and betrayal. Her friends have been leaving supportive comments about how she's better off without negativity. Fine by me. My mother keeps calling. I've let them all go to voicemail. She's left messages ranging from angry, "You're tearing this family apart," to pleading, "Can't we just talk about this?" to guilt-tripping, "I'm your mother. You owe me respect." I don't owe anyone anything, except Lily. The hardest part is explaining to Lily why Grandma and Aunt Chloe won't be coming around anymore. I kept it simple and age-appropriate. Sometimes people make choices that hurt others. And when that happens, we need to protect ourselves. It doesn't mean we don't love them, but we need to love ourselves more. Lily thought about that for a while, then said, "Like how I stopped being friends with Ashley when she kept taking my toys without asking?" "Exactly like that, baby." She nodded, satisfied. Kids understand boundaries better than adults sometimes. I've also decided to get therapy. The whole situation made me realize how much I've normalized being treated as less than. I want to unpack that and make sure I don't pass those patterns to Lily. As for the money, the $5,000 I spent, I don't regret a penny. Watching Lily's face light up when she saw her real party made every double shift, every skipped lunch, every sacrifice worth it. She has photos from her princess birthday that she'll treasure forever. She learned that her mother will fight for her. That's priceless. Eleanor sent me a follow-up email with all the photos her team took. Lily looks like pure joy in every single one. There's not a trace of the crying little girl from the corner of the other pavilion. Just a happy 7-year-old princess surrounded by friends who love her and a mother who would set the world on fire before letting anyone hurt her again. Some people are saying I went nuclear over a party. Maybe I did. But it wasn't really about the party, was it? It was about years of being second place. Years of my needs being dismissed. Years of watching my daughter be treated as less important than Chloe's ego. The party was just the final straw. And you know what? I'm not sorry. I'd make that call to Eleanor again in a heartbeat. I'd watch Chloe's party get shut down 1,000 times. I'd stand there with the police and park security 1,000,000 times over because my daughter deserves a mother who doesn't back down when someone tries to steal her joy. Chloe got what she deserved, public embarrassment and legal citations. My mother got what she deserved, the consequences of choosing favorites. And Lily got what she always deserved, a birthday party that was wholly, completely, magnificently hers. People keep asking me if I feel guilty. Honestly, not even a little bit. I feel powerful. I feel like I finally found my voice after years of being told to be quiet, to be flexible, to be understanding. I'm done being understanding about mistreatment. My supervisor at work heard what happened through the hospital grapevine and pulled me aside. "I heard you had quite a weekend," she said. I braced for judgment, but she smiled. "Good for you. My sister pulled similar crap at my wedding. I wish I'd had your backbone." Turns out a lot of people have Chloes in their families. The takers. The ones who believe the world revolves around them. The ones everyone else has to accommodate because that's just how they are. Well, that's not how it is anymore. Not in my life. Lily starts therapy next week, too, just to process everything. Her pediatrician recommended it, and I agreed. I want her to have tools I didn't have growing up. I want her to understand that what happened wasn't normal or okay and that she doesn't have to accept poor treatment from anyone, even family. Some extended family members have reached out quietly to say they're proud of me. These are the relatives who've watched the Chloe show for years and were too polite or too tired to say anything. Their support means more than I can express. The North Grove Pavilion at Central Lake Park will always be special to us now. Lily wants to have every birthday there. I'm thinking about it. Eleanor offered me a discount for next year, which is incredibly kind, but also funny, like she's rewarding me for good drama. I've blocked Chloe's number. I've muted my mother's. I've created space for peace in my life. Lily and I are having movie nights and baking cookies and talking about our feelings. We're healing. Is my family broken? Maybe. But maybe it was always broken. And I'm just now strong enough to stop pretending the cracks weren't there. Maybe I'm not breaking the family. Maybe I'm just refusing to be the glue that holds together something toxic. Last night, Lily asked me if I was a superhero. I laughed and asked why. She said, "Because you saved my party. You made everything right when it was all wrong. That's what heroes do." I hugged her tight and told her we saved it together. But inside, I felt something shift. For so long, I'd seen myself as just surviving, just scraping by, just making do. But Lily saw strength. She saw someone who fought back. She saw a hero. Maybe she's right. Maybe standing up for yourself and your child when everyone else wants you to roll over, maybe that is heroic. Maybe there's nothing small about protecting joy. Maybe I am a superhero. Capeless and tired and still paying off the credit card, but a superhero nonetheless. I don't know what the future holds for my relationship with my mother and sister. Part of me hopes they'll come around, apologize, acknowledge the harm they caused. Part of me knows they probably won't. Chloe doesn't do accountability, and my mother doesn't do uncomfortable truths. But here's what I do know. Lily and I are going to be okay. Better than okay. We're going to thrive. We're going to have boundaries and self-respect and joy. We're going to celebrate birthdays that are actually about the birthday girl. We're going to build a life that doesn't include people who steal and lie and manipulate. And if that makes me the villain in Chloe's story, so be it. I'd rather be the villain in her narrative than the doormat in mine. So yeah, I spent $5,000 on my daughter's birthday party and my sister tried to steal it, but I made one phone call and 15 minutes later, I took it back. I took back more than a party. I took back my self-respect. I took back my boundaries. I took back my life. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat. What do you think I should have done differently?